This conference will now be recorded.
So the agenda for today's classes will be going through the syllabus, will be going through the course content, followed by introduction to Selenium, followed by how do we use Selenium IDE tool. If time permits, then we'll be seeing the architecture of Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver. So hope you all got through, you hope you all understood to the points that we are discussing in today's class. So these are the 4 points that I'll be covering in today's class. So first point that I'm gonna cover is I'm be going through the course content of what we have. Okay. So what are the topics that we are covering as part of the syllabus? What is testing? What is test automation? We have discussed these points in yesterday's class, right? As part of the introductory session of what is testing and what is the purpose of test automation and why companies are invested a time into test automation. And we'll be going through what is SDLC lifecycle with respect to automation. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. So during the development phase of a software, what is the role that automation plays into the picture? So yesterday we have also covered this point. What is the importance of automation testing along with different case studies, different facts, and different ideas, different figures of why automation testing has become so important. Then out of all the tools that we have in the market, what is the advantage that Selenium holds over the so many tools that are present in the market? So these are the first topics that we have covered. This is the first topic set of topics that we are covering. And as part of yesterday's class, we have covered the first point, what is testing and test automation. And we have also covered importance of test automation along with different phases of testing. Okay. So next thing is installation of tools. What are the tools that we need or that we require for automation? JDK setup and installation. So JDK stands for Java Development Kit. So what is the purpose of the Java Development Kit? With the help of this, with the help of this file only, we'll be able to write the Java programs. So installation of Eclipse and IntelliJ tools means these are the coding editors. Like if you want to if you want to prepare a document, you will be using MS Word. So similarly, if you want to code somewhere, you need a particular editor or the tools to write the code. So this Eclipse and IntelliJ fall into that category. Then we'll be installing installing Git Bash. Okay, clear with this first two set of topics, everyone?
Yes.
Abhimanyu, Jaswinder, Shiva, Rahul, clear?
Okay, Rahul.
Yes, yes.
So
Yes,
yeah, so for everyone's sake, we'll be discussing about the Git concepts like we need to sign up for a GitHub account. How do we need to sign up for a GitHub account? How do we create an empty repository? How do we create the branches in the Git? How do we clone the command from Git using CMD? How do we commit the code from Git using CMD? How do we push the code from Git using CMD? CMD stands for command prompt. So command prompt for people who are hearing the word first time, if you type CMD in the search, there's a command prompt opening, right? Yes or no?
Yes, we know. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope Bharati, Priyanka, and Naveen, Shiva. I hope all of you know of this, right?
Yeah.
Mm. So how do you push the code, commit the code, clone the code, check out the code from Git using the CMD, and how do you push a fresh project present in a local system to the Git repository? For the beginners who don't know what is Git, Git is a code repository. What do you mean by this code repository? It is a place where we store our code. Like we store the data in the cloud. Is this clear for the beginners who are already hearing the word Git for the first time? So, if you want to perform the same Git commands using this IntelliJ tool, how will you do it? You will be cloning the project using this import project option from VCS. VCS stands for VCS stands for version control system. So how do we commit the code? How do we push the code? How do we check out the code? So for beginners, if you are hearing this all the terminologies for the first time, you need not worry. As we are going through the due time in the course, you will be understanding all this terminology of what is this git command, what is this commands, cloning, commit, push, what is this IntelliJ, what is this option. You'll be getting to know better during the due course of time. Then we come to the basics of Java. What do we do in the basics of Java? What do we do in the basics of Java? We will be going through the introduction of Java. What is Java? What is the advantages? What are the features of it? Then we'll be getting started with the new class creation and the basic syntax. So what are the different data types in wrapper classes? Conditional versus looping statements, static versus non-static methods, and how do we initialize the objects? Constructors basics and its purpose, intro to strings and exceptions, intro to arrays, integrating the basics of Java that we have learned with the Selenium concepts at a later point of time. And as I've communicated in the yesterday's class that without knowing Java, it is very difficult to start getting into automation or Selenium. So getting fundamentally strong in each and every basics of Java is very essential when you're trying to design the code in Selenium or when you're trying to design an automation framework. Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, yes, no.
Yes, yes.
So, strings and collections. So, what is the importance of strings and collections from automation perspective? So, why it holds a very great importance with respect to interview as well as your real time. Okay. What are the different types of string functions present in Java? How do you use the concept of string utils for Apache Maven? Introduction to collection concepts and overview of different types of collections. So, what are the different types of collections and their usage? I hope this is clear. If you don't understand the terminology, that's secondary, but these are the topics that we are going. I hope I hope it's okay till now. So what is exception handling and its purpose from automation perspective? So syntax of exception handling using this try catch block. So what is the purpose of finally block? Multiple catch block. How do we write multiple catch blocks with one single try block? So what is the difference between throws and throw method and how do we create a custom exception and call them? Okay.
Rahul, sorry to interrupt you. You are sharing any slides or you are sharing that? I can see only that notepad.
Yeah, it's a notepad only. There is no slide as of
Okay.
now, sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when it comes to file handling, what are the different ways of writing the data to the file, and how can we use it on a logging purpose? What are the different ways of reading a file, and how do we read the file? How do we collect all the lines of the file in one go? How do we copy the file from one location to another location? So what are the different functions, different concepts of file functions? When it comes to inheritance, how do we use the keywords like extends and implements in Java? So what is the difference between superclass and subclass, and this keyword and super keyword in Java? And coming to this, we'll also be going through all the OOPS concepts like polymorphism, encapsulation, interfaces. Okay. So the first interview question that you have for any automation interview is, what is the OOPS concept, and how have you implemented this concept of OOPS in your project? Clear? This is clear. Naveen, Jasvinder, Abhimanyu, Shiva, Priyanka,
Yes, Rahul.
Bharti.
Yes, it is clear, Rahul. Thank you.
Yes, Rahul. It's good.
So after we are done with the basics of Java, then we will be going through see how do we set up a basic Selenium project, how do we set up a basic Maven project, and how do we add the dependencies. Okay, and how do we set up a web driver, and how do we launch an application. So basics of Selenium. What is Selenium IDE? What is Selenium RC? What are the different types of locators used for searching the elements? How do we find the web elements based on the different types of XPaths? Introduction to web tables, and how do we handle dynamic rows and columns, implicit and explicit wait times. So handling pop-ups using Selenium WebDriver, actions class, handling multiple windows and tabs based on different combinations. How do we capture the screenshots using Selenium WebDriver? How do we handle frames and shadow frames? How do we upload and download the files using Selenium? What are the concept of Chrome options and desired capabilities, which helps us in enhancing the driver. Here, driver is nothing but our browser. So then we'll be going through the concepts of TestNG. TestNG stands for Test Execution Engine. So test execution engine is that such that how do we execute the test cases manually? Now, for for the people who are already working, they know that the concept of smoke, regression, sanity, right? For smoke, you have separate set of test cases. For sanity, you have separate set of test cases. For regression, you have separate set of test cases, right? Hmm?
Yes, Rahul.
So similarly, how do we control the same order of execution here? Like how do you say like this is a smoke test case, this is a regression test case, and what is the sequence of execution? What could be the order of execution, and what can be a priority, and where are the exceptions prone to occur? Okay, is this clear, everyone? Point.
Yes, it is clear, Rahul.
So annotate. What are the different annotations of TestNG? What are the sample tests? How do we write a sample test cases scripting via TestNG? How do we execute the test cases in TestNG? Parameterization of values, grouping of test cases, assert statements, what are the dependencies of test cases, purpose of WebDriver event listener, and how do we use listeners as part of the scripting. Okay. Then this is the area that most companies are focused about. Cucumber framework. This is the topic where most of the companies are looking candidates for. Installation of Cucumber plugin from Marketplace. How do we create a new feature file and syntax? Run a file, creating a step definition. How do we combine the test engine with Cucumber? And how do we execute the test cases using the runner file, preparing the scenario name based on the tags. So what is scenario outline and different Cucumber tags and annotations? So what is a pickle test step concept and its purpose? So when it comes to properties file, how do we create a property file? How do we read the value from the property file? How do we set the values to a property file? Property file is nothing but when you're at your home, when you want to turn on the appliances, you will switch it on or you switch it off. That switch, if you want to turn on your lights, you switch it on. If you want to turn off your lights, you switch it off. So if you want to implement such kind of concept, like you want to toggle between different options, like you want to execute the code in different browsers, you want to mention your project name, you want to say I want to log out from the application. Like some cases I want to log out, some cases I don't want to log out from the application. There are different examples where we'll be going through it. So Excel operations, how do we write the data to the Excel sheets and how do we read the data from the Excel sheets using this special library in Apache called as POI library, and what is the concept of data provider? Okay, clear everyone?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thanks. So after finishing the concept of Excel operations, we'll be also going through JSON file operations. JSON is nothing but, for starters, I would like to say JavaScript notation. It's a standard text-based format for representing structured data based on JavaScript object notation. So this is the definition that is given by MSDN. So I'll be going through much detailed structure. Like for the starters who are seeing the JSON for the first time, whatever the data we want to structureize, we are writing in this format in the form of a JavaScript notation. So if you want to know more details about this JSON, we'll be covering in-depth details about this during our JSON file operations class. How do we read and write the data to the JSON file? How do we modify the contents of the JSON file? So why we discussing this concept of JSON? The main reason is whenever you're trying to do a sort of API automation or API testing via the Selenium scripts, that time you need to know how do you really read the data from the JSON file? How do we write the data to the JSON file? Clear? And even you can use this JSON file as a separate data provider concept. I'll explain you what is data provider and stuff. Data provider is nothing but we'll be maintaining the test data for the test cases, right? For that. Is this clear, everyone, so far?
Yes, it is clear, Rahul.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, for any kind of testing activities that you are doing, you need to generate the reports because a report stand as a substantial evidence of the work that you have done for the particular test case. So, what kind of reports that can be generated? So we can generate different types of external reports in different ways using Cucumber adapter, using the regular way, and discussion about different types of reports such as extend HTML report, extend Spark report, and extend PDF report. Clear? Is this clear, everyone?
Yeah, yeah, it's clear.
Yes,
Shiva,
Rahul. Yes,
yeah,
Rahul.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yeah,
Naveen, yeah, yeah, yeah. Naveen, Priyanka, Anju, Nawaz, yeah. Hope you understood. Like you might not understand the terminologies, that's totally fine. But you just try to understand how much you can because once we cover each and every topic, they'll be discussing individually of what is what and stuff. Okay. For starters who are really confused with this terminologies, my my request is that please wait till the topic that we discuss the topic in detail so that you'll understand more clearly of what is the topic about. So coming to the last but one point, how do we perform API automation? What is API? What is what in that? How many different types of call protocols are there? And in that, what is REST API? What is the post, get, delete, request, and stuff? Because in another point, in another company, few of the companies, when they have hire for automation engineers, They also look out for people who are capable enough to automate their APIs. So what is an API on a general basis? So suppose, how many of you people do some online shopping? How many of you people buy some clothes or do some online shopping for whatever sake? Come on, guys. Most of them don't do online shopping.
We all will. We
Yes.
all are actually.
Yeah,
So when
Rahul.
when you're yeah. So when you're trying to make a payment from your e-commerce site, it will be going to another page, right?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Exactly.
It'll be so that when you go to another site, you make the payment, you enter your card details, you validate with your OTP, and come back to your application. So what do you see? There is a small there is a small bridge that is connecting this e-commerce site to the payment gateway, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? So
Yes. Yes.
that interaction and communication with the third party vendors is done with the help of an API protocol. That means what we are creating a
Yes.
communication between your payment gateway and your e-commerce site. So as it will clear out all the payment details and it will be credited back to the account who is manufacturing the product. Clear?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Rahul,
Yeah.
this is Abhimanyu.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
You told, okay, you told like API is a protocol. Is API a
A-
protocol?
No, no, no. It's just for the beginners. I told it's a protocol, but actually it's not a protocol.
Okay.
It just acts like a medium between these two parties. Like you send a
Yes.
request, gets a response. That is more like you can say. Protocol is just something for beginners' sake.
It is just like an
Some
interface.
Yeah, you can say
interface.
as an interface.
Or we can say that when we are just booking some things, booking aeroplane, flight tickets or something, bus tickets, we are getting some hotels also there with
Yeah,
the help of with the help of API.
yeah,
Third party, they are showing their hotels that with that related to that we can book the hotels as well, taxis,
mm,
वगैरह.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So how do we perform that kind of automation using the Selenium scripts? Last but not the least, what are some real-time topics that we also cover? We'll all deal with how do we build a framework from scratch and what are the different types of frameworks used in the market. So how do we use this concept of Excel in real time? How do we use this GitHub on a daily purpose for a project? And if we have some time, we'll be covering these topics, connecting our program to the database, parallel execution of test cases, JUnit testing, basics of Karate framework, which is used for zero coding concept while automating the API. Clear?
Yes.
I feel like there is a lot of contents to be covered. I hope you feel the same. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So if we are really good with these many topics only, then people will consider our resume in the interview, and it's very easy for you to crack the job also. Okay?
But first, we have to clear the basic of Java. Yes, Rahul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First, the
The
Java
basic.
basics are important, followed by
Yeah.
your Selenium concepts, followed by the test engine Cucumber concepts, followed by how do you integrate all this tool into one framework, and how do you build a framework, and how do you understand, and how do you implement it. Okay?
And we are, sorry, Rahul. And we are covering that all Java here, no?
Yes, yes.
In
Yes, we are
this.
covering all the Java.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. So, any doubts? Anyone with respect to course plan? Any doubts, guys?
No, Rahul.
Clear?
Yes, Rob.
So coming to the next point that we are discussing is why Selenium is the most popular tool and why Selenium is the most popular tool and why is it chosen more in mostly. Clear? Understood my question, guys?
Yes.
First thing is let us know what are the different competitors that we have. Cypress, Playwright, RPA, UFT, Test Case Studio, Automation Anywhere. So these are the popular tools that we always use in the market. So RPA and UFT are ruled out because they are all paid tools. Clear?
RPA is mostly used for the clerical job. Am I right, sir?
No, no, no. It's not used for a clerical job. It is called as robotic process automation. RPA means.
Is this good for the testing of the web application? I don't think because I have
No,
used.
no. RPA is only good for packaged applications like Oracle or SAP applications. That is really good RPA. But the problem with
Yes,
RPA is it's really good for desktop applications, but not good for web-based applications.
yes, yes,
So just imagine the number of users using a desktop application versus the number of users using a web application. You're working on a website. Got it?
yes, yes. Actually, I started my career with QTP. Now it is UFT.
Yeah, yeah. Since HP has taken over it, it became UFT.
Yes.
So
Earlier,
yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead, Rahul.
earlier I was working on Windrunner before that.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. So UFT is also a paid tool because I mean the license is too costly for UFT. So not all the companies are in a position to afford these tools, right? Automation Anywhere, Tosca. Not every company is in a position to afford licenses for these tools. Especially when you're seeing most of the companies that we have in the world are mid-size and small size, rather than the MNCs. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, yes, sir.
How about others? Shiva, Abhimanyu, Naveen,
Yeah.
It's
Jasmine.
clear, Rahul. It's clear.
This is a new tool in the market which is still yet to be proven. Both of them requires knowledge on JS for sure. It's open source. Open source means it's free of cost. Anyone can use the tool. Yeah. Supports only Chrome and Firefox. Okay. So basically, the Cypress and Playwright are instead of we call them as automation tools, we call them more as a framework or a code template. Like it's a generic code template that we have written in JavaScript. Okay. First of all, the JavaScript language is not itself an object-oriented programming language. It is just a structured programming language, and trust me, it is very difficult to do the coding in JavaScript than Java. Okay. So Cypress and Playwright both come under as MS products. I mean, Playwright comes as a Microsoft product. Cypress is an open source product by some other team. So what are the disadvantages? We cannot handle multiple windows and tabs, cannot perform dynamic waits. Okay, cannot switch to frames ideally. Okay, so what are the advantages of Cypress and Playwright over Selenium? Default better reporting mechanism. Better reporting mechanism, easy to implement is what people say in the market, but factually it is not correct. Yeah. Apart from the better reporting mechanism, I don't see any advantage that Cypress and Playwright holds over Selenium. Is this clear? Is this clear, Abhimanyu, Shiva, Naveen, Jaswinder?
Yes, sir.
What are the pros of Selenium? It is lightweight. It works on various browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera. Clear? Supports multiple programming languages such as Java, C hash, Python, Ruby, Perl, etc. Flexible, flexible to use, open source tool, cross browser testing, can perform parallel testing, less hardware consumption. Is this clear? Any doubts you have in this terminologies in the pros of Selenium? Shiva, Abhimanyu, Jaswinder, Bharti, Anju, Navas.
No, sir, it's fine.
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Yeah, Anju, talk. Yeah, Anju, I couldn't hear you. You can talk.
Yeah, I said we got it, sir. Yeah, I got it.
Yes. So, what do you mean by cross-browser testing for the beginners? What do you mean by this? Testing the same code in different browsers. So suppose when you're navigating to the application, so suppose you're trying to make a payment in Chrome browser, whether you should see whether it works or not. When you're trying to make the same payment in Firefox, check whether it's working properly or not. When you're trying to make the same payment on Edge, you should always see whether it's working or not. Clear?
Yeah, Rahul.
What are the cons of Selenium? It does not have any direct integration with test management tools like Jira, HPLM, TestRail. Cannot perform image processing. What do you mean by this image processing? Reading the data from the captcha, reading the data from the image. Cannot test, cannot automate video and audio, cannot automate biometrics and fingerprint. Okay. It does not have a default reporting mechanism. We have to use third-party plugins to generate it. Last but not the least, having knowledge on any of the programming skills is must. Yeah, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So these are my understanding and my version of saying that what are the advantages and disadvantages of Selenium and why it is holding an edge over Cypress and Playwright as the competitors. I hope this is clear.
Yes, it's clear as of now.
So, so Selenium has been invented in the year 2004 by an employee at ThoughtWorks company. It's because he was really fed up of doing his unit testing by himself. So that is the main reason he has invented this tool called as Selenium in the year 2004. So the first tool that has been invented is called as Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE stands for Selenium Integrated Development Environment. So since it why it is saying Selenium integrated development environment, since this tool is being developed by a developer in order to ease out his testing process, the word development was used. So what are the features of this IDE? It is an extension to your browser, does not require any coding knowledge, It's a basic record and play. I hope most of them have used tape recorders in their childhood, right? Yes or no? I hope most of them have used the concept of tape recorders in their childhood, right? So what do you do when you want to record a song? What do you do? You press the record button, you record your voice, then after recording this, you stop it and you play back the same thing again and again, right? So similarly, the Selenium IDE tool does the same thing. Okay, clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So let us see how do I work with Selenium IDE. Okay, supports supports only Chrome and Firefox. Okay, so when you're using the Chrome browser, search for Selenium IDE for Chrome. So click on this first link. I'll remove this from Chrome because I've already installed it. So when you're opening the extension for the first time, click on Add to Chrome, then click on Add Extension. Then you have already installed the Selenium IDE to the browser. Then you click on this extensions icon. Hope everyone is able to see this extensions icon.
I can still see that
Yes.
notepad only. Um,
Yes,
There must
yes.
be some buffering issue in your side, but I'm actually in the browser. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rahul.
No, no, you are on browser. Selenium ID is used.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So click on this extensions icon. You will see your tool like Selenium ID that is being installed. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So what I will do when I'm trying to record it for the first time, I'll click on record a new test in a new project. Okay, since it is for the first time, then you need to give some project name. Then you need to give the application URL of what you're trying to record it. Okay, I'll just give my application URL of what you're trying to record it. Okay, hope you understood, right? How I've opened the Selenium tool from the extension and how I'm trying to record it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is clear.
Then I click on start recording. Then the site opens up. Then you need to press the enter key. Then I'll have to maximize my browser. Then I'll select this brand, whatever brand I want to select. Then I'll sort out my features from price low to high. I'll scroll down. I'll scroll down. I will select 4 stars and up. So I will select a product. So ideally what should happen, the product that we open should open in another tab here, right? Yes or no, guys? When we select some product, when we click, ideally it should open in another tab, right?
Yes.
Yes, Rahul.
So
Yes, yes.
when you're working with Selenium IDE, it does not support working in multiple tabs. Yeah, we can we can do the recording in one single tab only. So I will stop my recording here. I will give my test case name as something. So whatever the actions that you have recorded, you can click on this play button to play back everything again. Uh, can we go through this concept of the Selenium IDE recording tomorrow again freshly? I guess the time is up for some reason and I had a call. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow we'll have the class at the same time sharply at 9 p.m. IST. So can we continue this concept of Selenium IDE tomorrow freshly again?
Not a problem, Rahul. It's okay.
Yes, sir. No problem.